But let's forget the radical environmentalists.
If you are polluted, you are also a violator.
Freedom and a safe environment goes hand in hand.
Our first speaker unfortunately can't be here with us today. He was supposed to, but he had a problem with connection flights, so he couldn't make it to Lisbon. He's from Poland. His name is Marcin Chmielowski. He's a political science and doctor of philosophy. He's a project coordinator of the Freedom and Entrepreneurship Foundation and its former vice president. He is the author of 2 books, 3 documentaries, and over 150 articles and columns. His speech is Green Libertarianism Markets, Where We Can Win, and a Polish example in the background. Hope you enjoy. Thank you, Marcin. You can start your speech.
Hello, guys. So, first of all, you should know why I am just as a two-dimensional moving picture and not as a person in Lisbon. Actually, it has something to do with environment, especially with the problem with yesterday's fog or mists that we had in Krakow. Unfortunately, my flight was so delayed that I was sure that I won't be able to catch a second leg of my travel because I was going to Milan. And actually, there are very limited numbers of connection from Milan to Lisbon, and this is why I am just a moving picture. So sorry for that. I really wanted to join you. And also, well, I had my personal plan to visit Portugal for a first time in my life, and unfortunately, well, I am still in Krakow. It is a beautiful city, but probably Lisbon is even more beautiful. Okay, so that was the long story short and very stressful yesterday in a nutshell. And today I have for you my presentation about green libertarianism markets. And I want to stress the fact that I'm talking about markets more than one. And I can tell you, well, from my perspective, what can be done. And there will be some Polish example in the background because, of course, all Poles are mostly interested in our own country, which is a little bit funny, but even for libertarians from Poland, it is visible. It is visible. Okay, so that was the first slide, and second isn't very important because this is just information about what the presentation is. So let's start from here. Central interests of our movement, of course, central interests of our movement, talking chic. The fact is that most of the libertarians, at least most of the libertarians that I know personally, are specialized themselves in one of these 3 topics, and some of them can combine these topics. So, of course, we are all experts in gold, money, central banks, banking system, stable currency, this kind of stuff. So, let's say a part of macroeconomics. Some other libertarians are experts in drug policies, and others are experts in guns ownership. Some of them are even, a kind of collectors of these guns. I know these kind of people. They are mostly from Texas or Arizona or New Mexico or this kind of countries. And I'm not saying that this is something wrong. It's absolutely not wrong. But we as a movement are unfortunately too much concentrated only on very limited amount of topics. And honestly, most of people that are interested in gold savings or central banks already know something about us. They know something about Murray Rothbard. They know something about Ludwig von Mises, etc. The same goes with people who are interested in liberalization of drug politics. Most of them are libertarians, or even if they are not libertarians, they know something about us. And the same goes with guns, of course. And I know that this is just a little bit funny example, but probably it works the same in your country or in your countries, because I know that this is an international conference. So most of the libertarians tends to be interested only in one of these 3 topics. And I think that this is a problem from perspective of promotion of environmentalism or green market ideas, because we just are not very specialized in this topic. And this is because of some kind of historical reasons, I think. So most of the, or maybe even all of the ideological or philosophical factions that are somewhere on our the state or not only state arenas where we are fighting for how it should be done, where we are all products of history. And because of some historical reasons, these three topics have a lot of things to do with United States of America in the 70s and 80s. And back then, problem of green markets or problem of environment wasn't so important. Back then, they could have engines in their cars like 4 liters big, etc., etc. And this is why we have ideas that were very useful in debates 40, 50, sometimes even 50 years ago on other continents, not in Europe, but in America. And I think that we should change it. The market of ideas, well, it also have some products, right? And we have some of them on display. From libertarian perspective, on a display, we have whole great ideas about lowering the taxes. And this is fine. This is extremely fine. I'm totally supporting that. I'm a libertarian, right? But unfortunately, we don't have on our display anything or almost anything related to green markets. And I think that we should have something because of the fact that people now are extremely interested in this topic. So if you want to have people that coming to our little gift shop with libertarian ideas, we need to attract them. And one of the attractors would be green market libertarian ideas. And also, it goes from the problem of product type. I will give you an example. If you will go in Poland to a mall, you will be able to, for example, buy 3 carrot juices, 1 liter, and you will get 1 carrot juice extra, or you will get, I don't know, maybe a bag of potatoes or something like that. So the same goes with ideas in political realm. If you are voting for leftist because you believe that rich people should pay extra high taxes, in the same time you will be voting for example, like gun control, right? And libertarianism should work a little bit like that. So people who would like to have sound money, who would like to have more, less stressed out law about drugs, they also should vote for green market ideas. But for most of the time, they just don't know that we have any ideas about environment. And it goes from historical reason, as I already told it. But the fact is that we have, as a movement, some prominent figures that can be used in the quest for smarter environmental politics, and one of them is Frédéric Bastiat. Of course, he never wrote anything directly about environment, but we can tell that an environmental cost can be seen as those that can't be seen and about which Frédéric Bastiat wrote. So you all know the essay, what is seen and what is unseen, right? So yeah, we all can see that factory gives us jobs, and this is fine. It's visible. It is a profit, but we cannot see the environmental costs. And I think that we can use it. I will tell you later how. So this kind of person is probably less known, Martin Anderson. Martin Anderson wasn't a libertarian. He was a conservative, but very strongly pro-market conservative, and he worked with Ronald Reagan. And I think that this quotation is really, really important because, Frédéric Bastiat is from 19th century, and this, what he said, isn't very on the topic. It's just something much broader. But we have here a guy who said, just as no one has the right to throw garbage on a neighbor's lawn, no one has the right to push waste into the air, water, and land if it violates the rights of others. And we can use it. Unfortunately, this guy is totally unknown in libertarian movement and probably in conservative movement too. And he passed away just a few years ago. We could use his ideas, and we're not doing it. We want to talk about guns and drugs. Okay. And of course, this guy is famous, right? Sometimes not from the best side, I must add, but the quotation is quite long, but the last last words are the most important. Air pollution that injures others is aggression, pure and simple. And this is what Murray Rothbard said. And people are always saying that, hey, guys, you libertarians, what you can add to the debate about our environment? You are all only for the profits. And Murray Rothbard is a guy who is saying, well, we can use a second axiom in this debate, we can say that if you are a polluter, you are also a violator. And this is something important. But all of this, what these guys are saying, is something like a unprocessed raw material. So, for example, it works more like a coal, right? We need an energy that can be made out of the coal, but still, this is just. Sorry, I was afraid that this is another technical issue or something like that. Sorry, guys. But what we need is a more processed idea. So we have, as a libertarians, we have lots of raw material, and these 3 slides are just examples. But it is impossible to put on it is impossible to put on the display of your shop with ideas just a raw coal and saying, guys, please buy it, it will be good for you. No, we need products that came out of the coal. We need products that came out of the wood, like, for example, books, etc., etc. We need something more advanced and something that we can sell. Unfortunately, nowadays, it will be almost impossible, or at least difficult, to sell these raw ideas, and we need to transfer them. So we have an unprocessed raw material that we can process into more complex goods, which are specific libertarian ideas about environmental protection that will not only be very general, because these are, of course, very general. We don't lack raw material, we lack products on the shelves, and what we also lack is the mental map of our movement with the points where this raw material is already. Because from my experience, most of the libertarians just don't know this at least this quotation about air pollution that Murray Rothbard once wrote. And so green libertarian markets, the first one we need to get better at is the market of ideas. I'm a philosopher, I am not an environmental engineer. So of course that I will be talking about more about ideas than about some complex solutions. But I will tell you something about complex solutions from Poland, of course. And if you want to respond to customer needs, sell our ideas together with the environmental ones. So yes, at the beginning we need to process about this, make a process from this raw material and do something better from it. And what exactly should we do? And can we afford to compromise with such situations like European Union emission trading system? Because it can be criticized, I know about that. What specific solutions can we propose? And what can we do at the middle level? Well, the general answer that I can give you is I don't know. I don't know, because I am more interested and I am more specialized in the raw material problems than in display problems, or what to put on the display problems. But I think that our generation, maybe not our generation, because, well, I'm 40 actually, but your generation of people, for most of the time younger than me, well, I think that it should be your thing to do, because now something really important is happening in Europe and in global world of ideas too, because in my generation people were not so much interested in environmental problems, and now we can see what's happening, and we can see that probably people who are saying that, well, yes, guys, we are destroying our environment, well, they were right. And we as libertarians, we were more interested in talking about gun laws. And I'm not saying that it is something for something, that more environmental talk means less talk about guns. No, we should add the topic of green market, of green libertarian markets, to our normal display of ideas and try to sell it, because if we won't be selling these ideas, other people will do it, and they will combine ideas of clean environment, not with gun laws, but with gun control, or with other kinds of control of society. And we don't want it. We don't want it. So in a nutshell, I see our idea of promoting green market libertarian ideas related to environment. I see it as a kind of vehicle for promoting other libertarian ideas. And I want to tie up this one idea with other of our ideas and to sell them together. I think that it should work. But as I said, I am more like a engineer of ideas than a seller of them. So that's my role in the movement. And so the why it is important, on the level of our movement, it is important because we need to survive, we need to thrive, and we need to expand. As all living beings, well, communities are more like beings or animals than like machines. And if we want to expand, we should implement other ideas into our actions, we need to promote them, and there will be more libertarians. On the level of society and its transformation, it will be important. It is important to talk about free market ideas in environment, because it will be more about freedom. And if we want to do it, other people from other factions, for example, left or right, because we are none of them, well, they will combine it with control. And in Poland, left wing is already doing it. So they are combining idea of protecting the environment with the idea of controlling society. I am strongly against it. And the global level, so the global level is the most important one, because probably we are saving the earth, actually. So yes, we should do it. We should do it. We should be in this debate. And now the Polish example. And I will start from a really strange slide. As you can see, I'm an expert in paint. And there are three pictures here. One is Warsaw Pact, of course, red. And second one is NATO. And this is NATO from 1989. Yeah. And also there are two pictures from StarCraft. I think that this is first StarCraft. I'm not sure, but I think that this is first StarCraft. And as you can see, there is a bunker used by Terrans, and there is a Zerling, which is a basic unit of Zergs, right? And long story short, the whole idea of Soviet Union and unfortunately their allies, and we never wanted to be their ally, the same was with Czechs, Slovaks, Hungarians, Romanians, Bulgarians, Lithuanians, Latvians, Estonians, etc., and some Germans even were the allies. And we all didn't want to be their allies. We were conquered. But the whole idea of Russians, of Soviets, there's not so much difference actually. Who wanted to attack the NATO country was to do a kind of Zerlings rush. So they needed a lot of really cheap and easy to produce units, and hopefully they would be able to visit Lisbon. Well, actually, I wasn't able to visit Lisbon, but the good thing is that they wasn't been able to visit Lisbon too. So the tactics or strategy of NATO was to just like Terrans, to make lots of bunkers, but well, not in exact that wasn't an marginal line, but just to defend themselves. And this is important from the perspective of nowadays environmental problems in Poland. Because if you want to have a lot of, let's say, Zerlings, which means basic tanks, you need to have a lot of coal, and you need to produce a lots of steel. Thousands of tons of steel. Which means that all countries that are connected into your crazy idea, which was Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, etc. So we all were producing for the benefit of Soviet Union and benefit of the idea that they want to conquer Europe and maybe the whole world. Yes, unfortunately it worked like that. So even today in Poland, we have a great problem with having too many mines with supporting the whole coal industry, even if we know that nowadays extraction of coal in Poland is extremely expensive because of the fact that you need to go really, really down to find anything useful that you can dig and you can sell. In a normal market situation, we should buy coal from, let's say, Australia. And yes, we are doing that. But at the same time, all our governments since 1989 are supporting our coal industry because of the fact that there's a lot of these guys, which means lots of votes and strong labor unions. And this is a kind of anti-benefit that we have since the times. It should be okay. So my last words were, unfortunately, most of our nowadays environmental problems in Poland and also social problems in Poland with heavy industry people who really want to take our money from our taxes goes to the times when we were under the rule of Soviet Union. So yeah. And by the way, this is something personal. The small guy here, that's me, but many, many years ago. And this is my grandfather. He was a miner, and he was in a rescue squad because unfortunately back then, uh, because Soviets wanted so much of our coal, we had lots of people who just died in the mines, and my grandfather tried to rescue them. And this is, I think, the last or one of the last 1st May parade in Poland in the late 80s. So this is how it looked back then. And this is 6 years plan. You can see that's plan sześcioletni to pokój, dobrobyt, socjalizm, which means 6 years plan is peace, socialism, and dobrobyt would be something like a good life, let's say. So yeah, so this is how it worked in Poland. Our very centralized economy was a part of Soviet plan, and because of that, here are the charts and how it looks. So the coal, which is a gray, was and it still is responsible for most of our energy production. But as you can see, the green here, so this 15, 20, 27% goes to renewable energy. And this is something very, very positive because since 2020, private companies in Poland started to just sell all the equipment to install on the roofs of the houses and apartments. And thanks of that, we are having 27% of our energy actually made from sun. So this is something nice, and it went totally without any serious state support, only some info lines, this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a kind of market solution provided to Poland by Polish entrepreneurs, and it really helped to reduce the carbon footprint in Poland. And we were able to do it without the government, with some subsidies, of course, for some companies, but it was much more limited than subsidies for the mining industry. Also, it means a different kind of social structure because we don't need so many workers. We need more people interested in trade, interested in technology, interested in new ideas, and that's also I think very, very fine. And by the way, now in Poland we have a debate about nuclear power technology because we are one of the last countries in Europe that don't have any nuclear plants. Of course, it's in Polish, but I will translate it to you. So the question was, I am supporting the use of the newest nuclear power technologies to produce electrical energy, among others energy sources. And Poland is 10-1 if we are talking about supporters of this idea to the people who are not supporting it. So zdecydowanie zgadzam się means I'm strongly agree, and that's 38%. So almost everyone in Poland, because this 36 means I'm somehow agree. So almost all in Poland supports building of nuclear plants, and as we know, This is a really cheap, safe, and environmentally friendly source of energy. And we will see what our government will do. And probably we are the biggest supporter of nuclear energy worldwide. And also some insights from the studies that I've made by myself together with my team. And you can see this article on my ResearchGate. I've got an account on ResearchGate. For those of you who don't know, ResearchGate is a kind of Facebook or sometimes even a Tinder for people with PhD. So it works like that. And yes, I have an article about social demographic determinants of liberal attitudes in Poland, but we were also interested in what people in Poland are supporting if we are talking about liberalism in environment and environment. So the question was, it is the citizen and not the state that should have more responsibility for the condition of the environment, and 46% said yes. So the citizen should be more responsible than the government for the condition of the environment, right? So it's 36 to 21. So I think that we have a field where we could implement our ideas. Also, there was a question that we should push for the widest possible privatization of the energy sector, including mining. And it was 34 to 34, right? So not great, not terrible, I would say. But still, if we are talking about privatization in Poland, and especially privatization of energy sector, I would say that 1/3 of the society who supports liberal ideas, it's a lot of. It's a lot of. But honestly, there is also something less pro-liberal in Polish society, which is state support for technology. So about 60% of Poles supports the idea that without the state support, it is impossible to develop modern technology. So this is also something that we should work on, because only 23% believes that technology should be growing up without the state support. So this is how it works in Poland. Also, this is a picture from a typical patriotic fest in Poland, and I am showing it because of the fact that okay, guys, you can hear me, because of the fact that regulation that being against something is important, but being for something it is also very important. So yes, it's fine that lots of Poles are against communism, but it also should be important for what we are standing for. And also as a libertarian movement, not connected with Poland, it is important that we are against regulations, but we also should propose something. For most of the time, our idea of talking about environment was to be against regulations. And this is good. This is good. But what else we can bring to the table? And I think that we still have a problem with thinking of what else we can bring to the table. So these are my conclusions, and I will be ending this short speech. Being against regulation is important, but we must also have a positive plan, including on the environment, because it is an uplifting topic. And we have, as you could see, something important in the background. So this is first thing. Second, a well-executed green transition can increase our freedom. Done badly, it will increase our bondage and less freedom. And we will be, or we should be, the advocates of a good green transition, because without us, other peoples will do it. And the most important thing from my perspective at the end, this picture is a Polish edition of Return of the Primitive by Ayn Rand and her lover. And I want to stress out that human beings should be always in the first place. Yes, environment is important, but from my perspective, human life is more important than the life of a frog. I like frogs, I like animals, but well, people are more important, and we should be in the center. So that was almost all. That's thank you. By the way, this is a lake named Morskie Oko. It is only 2 hours and 20 minutes by car from my city. So I wasn't able to join you at the Lisbon, but if you will be in Krakow, be sure that I will take you there, and we can talk about our great European environment and how to save. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcin. We're sorry you can't be here today. I hope you get the chance to come to Lisbon anytime soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for still being able to make the presentation even through via online. I hope in the next time you can be here presentially. We are a bit ahead of time, so we are going to go ahead with the conference. But anyways, thank you so much for being here, and bye. Have a nice rest of the day.